In this video, we will solve a problem on how to find out equilibrium quantity given the individual demand curves and market supply function. The question is, the demand curve for two individuals is being given by P is equal to 20 minus Q1, which is the demand curve for individual 1, and P is equal to 5 minus Q2 upon 2, which is the demand curve for individual 2, where P and Q are both greater or equal to 0. Suppose market supply function is given by P is equal to 2 plus Q. We have to find out the equilibrium quantity in the market. Okay, so to find out the equilibrium quantity in the market, first we need to find out the market demand function, and market demand function will be the summation of the individual demand functions. Okay, so let us first solve them for quantities. So let us rewrite the first demand function for individual 1 in terms of q1. That means q1 will be equal to 20 minus p, and for second let us solve it for q2. So we have uh, let us solve it, which means q2 divided by 2 will be equal to 5 minus p, which implies q2 will be equal to 2 5s are 10 minus 2p. Okay, so which is q2 will be equal to 10 minus 2p. This is the demand curve for individual 1, and second one denotes the demand curve for individual 2. This is the first step. Okay, and it will be plausible if I draw, it will be convenient if I draw the graph also. Here we have quantity on this side, price on this side. Okay, so this is q1 is equal to 20 minus p. If we draw it on the graph, it will look like this. Let us say this is 20 here. Okay, this is 20 is its intercept, which is q1. Here q2 is 10 minus 2p. Solving for p, so when q2 is equal to 0, p will be equal to 10 divided by 2, which is equal to 5. Let us say here it lies, let us say this is 5. Okay, it will not look exactly the parallel, but I am just doing the rough here. Now we need to find out the market demand function. Let us see here, let us see the second demand function. In this case, when q2 is equal to 0, okay, when q2 is equal to 0, which implies 10 minus 2p is equal to 0, 10 minus 2p is equal to 0. Sorry, yes, it is correct, which means p is equal to 5. Okay, when we solve it for price, so our quantity demanded will be equal to 0 when price is equal to 5. Then what will be our market demand function? So let's denote it by q. Q will be equal to q1 plus q2. Okay, so when, and let me write it here. Here we can see when price is greater or equal to 5, quantity demanded by individual 2 will be equal to 0. That means q1 will be equal to 20 plus p plus q2 will be equal to 0. Okay, and when price is greater than 5, in this case we add up these two again. That means q will be equal to q1 plus q2, which is 20 minus p plus 10 minus 2p, which is equal to, which is 20 plus 10 is 30 minus 3p. Okay, let me rewrite it here to make it more clear. Our market demand, which is denoted by q, will be equal to our market demand will be equal to 20 plus p, 20 plus p. That means this stuff when price is greater or equal to 5, and our market demand will be equal to q1 plus q2, which is equal to 30 minus 3p, 30 minus 3p, as long as price is less than 5. Okay, so let us draw this demand curve also on the graph, market demand function. So q will be equal to 30 minus 3p. So when q is equal to 0, q is equal to 0, 30 minus 3p is equal to 0, which implies p will be equal to 30 upon 3, which is 10. Let us say here lies the 10, so it will look like this. This is our, it is q1, it is q2, this is q here. Okay, now what we need to do, we got the demand curve. Then this will be our demand curve. We are being told when price is greater or equal to 5, our demand curve is 20, sorry, it is 20 minus p here. Okay, so our demand curve will be this stuff. When price is less than 5, we add up the two individual demand curves. That means this will be our market demand curve. This dotted line is our market demand curve. Now what is supply function? Supply function is p is equal to 2 plus q. Let us solve it for q. That means q will be equal to minus 2 plus p. Okay, here also we can see when p is equal to 0, when q is equal to 0, here when q is equal to 0, p will be equal to 2. That means our market supply will be equal to minus 2 plus p, as long as p is when price is greater than 2. Now let us see the conditions here. When p is greater than 2, and our supply function will look like this. Let us draw the supply function as, let us say this is our supply function. Okay, this is our supply function. So when p is greater than 2, our supply function will be minus 2 plus p. Obviously this one, first one satisfies the condition. Here p greater than 5 and p greater than 2. Okay, this cannot be our equilibrium. What we call, this demand curve cannot intersect with this supply curve. Okay, so equilibrium will occur between this demand and this supply. Okay, because price is greater than 5, here price is greater than 2. If price is less than 5, it will contradict here. Okay, so now at equilibrium we know demand should be equal to supply, so our demand curve will be this very one. So demand is 20 minus p should be equal to supply. Supply is minus 2 plus p. So adding up p's, so we have 2p will be equal to 22, which implies p will be equal to 11. So it is equilibrium price. Let us say this is here 11. Corresponding to this, what will be equilibrium quantity? Let us see. So let's plug p is equal to 11 either in demand function or in the supply function. Let's put it into the supply function, which implies our equilibrium quantity will be equal to minus 2 plus 11, which comes out to be q will be equal to 9. Okay, so the correct option should be this very stuff. I hope I make myself clear in this video. Thank you.